Welcome back. Just before the break, we were talking to our distinguished guest today about tea, the tea industry, the science of tea, how tea is grown, how tea is processed, how tea is marketed, and how does it reach your dining table. Later, when you went back to Dhaka after your training, you became the director of Bangladesh Tea Research Institute and also a member of Bangladesh Tea Board. That's it?
When I finished my training, I went back to the same institute as in my original position as scientific officer. Yes. Then I was promoted to senior scientific officer. Then,
of course,
PS.
It's a long process, but you reached the top.
Yeah. So
hard work took you to the top. And you also were appointed a member of the Bangladesh Tea Board.
I was an acting member for some time, 3 months.
And after having spent 36 years at BTRI, Bangladesh Tea Research Institute, you retired in 2005. What did your work at BTI involve as a researcher, scientist, and director? What were the different kinds of roles you played? Researcher was obvious, you were researching.
Right, because I worked in botany division. So the botany division was responsible for the varietal development of tea. That is, developing improved clones and seeds.
Right.
So I was responsible, not me, my
your
team, our
yes,
team.
Of course.
So they were responsible for that. So I worked only on varietal development of tea. So that includes development clone and improved seeds. So we had senior members also, so I joined them, then we worked together. And in '68, I started on working on the clones and seeds.
When you say cloning, were you creating a tea variety that was a new one or the same one, where breeding different variety of the same type?
The problem is that tea is a self-incompatible plant. So when we go from seed to multiplication, what usually used to be done, when tea was first introduced, it was done by seeds, tea seeds.
So but can it be cloned?
Yeah, that is
creating the same variety.
Same one. So the variety remains the same. So once we get a very good plant, both quality and yield, or with the flavor clone, so we can multiply it by vegetative propagation. We call it BP cloning. So thousands of plants may be created from nodal cuttings. So once we are fortunate to get a clone, so it is easier to propagate. That's how we work. And the problem to improve the seed is that it is self-incompatible. So the seed we should get, it should always be cross-fertilized. Because there is no self-fertilization in it. There is report in some China variety, but when the crop which is self-incompatible, when it is bred pure, that is self-fertilization is made, genetic vigor drops down.
I was talking to you before we started doing this program in break. You know, on international market, we do not see any particular brand that is coming out of Bangladesh. You see, we have Ceylon tea, Assam tea, and this tea or that tea. But in Bangladesh, of course, there's many brands of local teas, and they are very good quality. I must say, they're very good quality. But I wish that they were marketed outside. I know that yours is a research institute, you see, but then you were also at the Bangladesh Tea Board, you see. So that is somewhere
the
that marketing should come.
problem is that the tea we produce is mostly nowadays it is consumed internally. We are producing about 85 million kg of tea. That is the highest record so far in 16.
Per
annum. We exported only 1 million. So the rest is consumed by us. So you don't see it in the international market with Bangladesh identification.
Yeah.
When it was in pre-71, we did export tea to outside. We produced about 30 million kg.
To auction houses elsewhere.
We exported from then Pakistan or Bangladesh, now present Bangladesh. So out of 30 million, we consumed only 10 million in Pakistan. The rest were exported.
Yeah, is it because the population was less?
No, because population was less, but people were not used to tea that much. Now the tea, people have grown the habit of drinking tea.
Right.
It is a national beverage now.
Right. See.
So we have got a shortfall rather.
Right. But I read somewhere that your Tea Research Institute helped create in your own tea gardens that you have, the production was much higher than the national average.
That is why we are there. There is a demonstration place as well.
Yes.
So our variety in the general yield in the tea estates.
Yes.
During
in 3 places you did that, isn't it? See, at the 3 experimental farms that you did, see, your production per hectare was much more than the national average.
Yeah, that is because we have more improved plantations,
right,
with clones and seeds. So
wasn't that passed on to the other producers?
It is being passed now. About 50% clonal plantations are there in the industry. There is the different agencies, some Starling companies, some native gardens and proprietaries. So there, we inspired them to grow improved plants, improve the plants, because previously on seedling tea, when there was general seedling, it produced on an average 750 kg per hectare.
Yeah.
But our clones, we could produce 5,000 hectares per kg per hectare.
Yes.
At least they should get 2,000 kg with average maintenance.
But I read somewhere that the national average was something like 1,100 something, isn't it?
Because that is we raised this status from 700 kg. You can see if you take the whole tea industry. Tea is a very slow growing plant. It takes 10 years.
Where are the tea gardens? Are they all in Sylhet?
No.
Away from Sylhet?
Sylhet means Greater Sylhet.
Yeah.
Greater Sylhet, but major teas and nicer tea estates are in Molly-Bazar. So,
well, when I say Sylhet, I am talking about Sylhet Bibhag.
In Sylhet, only Sunamganj. They don't have any tea. Because they don't have any tea. But Molly-Bazar, then Sylhet proper, Hobbyganj, these 3 districts.
What about the Chittagong area? Because they have the same topography in areas.
It started about the same time, because you see the first tea plant was planted in Chittagong, in Chittagong Club. And so then the first experimental plantation was done in Kodala Tea Estate, on the other side of the Karnafuli. But commercially it was started cultivation from Malnichara Tea Estate in Sylhet.
When was the first tea garden established?
In 1854.
1854.
Introduction of tea in this area, that is in India, is about the same time. In India, in Assam,
17th century sometime.
18th century.
18th century.
It was in India. It started 19th century, 1834.
Yes, because it said that the British wanted to somehow curtail the exports from China, and they wanted India to grow tea, and also wanted to stop the Chinese monopoly of the tea trade.
That's right. That's right, because tea used to be only grow in China. And then later it grew in Japan.
Also Tibet.
But those are green teas mostly. So, but when British started, they tried some seeds from China, and tried in India, but China seed didn't do well. But fortunately, one British called Mr. Bruce, he discovered indigenous tea in Assam. That is wild tea, Assamica variety. There are two varieties of tea. That is tea botanical name is Camellia sinensis. There are two main varieties. This variety sinensis, small dwarfish type of plant. And
how tall is a tea plant?
If you allow it, it can grow 30 feet. 30 feet. But
you need tall tea pluckers.
No, but that's why it's trimmed down every year, pruned to man height.
Yeah.
Shoulder height.
Yeah.
Rather, we don't allow it to grow beyond.
Why is it that most of the tea pluckers are ladies, females? Are they good at it?
They are good in plucking.
Right.
Because their soft hands pluck it better than the
British. Pluck more than men in limited time?
Because they used to be the pluckers, so they pluck it better, and yes, their efficiency is better in plucking.
And also, is it also because they are cheaper?
Cheaper because the British introduced them from other parts of India.
Right.
So they are not Bengalis.
Right.
So most of
and the same thing continues until today. They are not Bangladeshis.
They are originally from Orissa. Central province, so they speak, their dialect is different.
Right, right.
Still, they have separate culture.
I'm talking about, because I'm concerned about the women empowerment and gender equality. So, are they paid well? My concern is that.
Gender equality is always there, because 50% of the workers are women workers. They do the plucking sometimes in factories, in sorting out things. Even in some other works in field.
Right.
So it is already there. Gender equality is always there. As far as payment, that is welfare, is concerned, well, they are not highly paid, but they have got a security.
Right, that's good.
That's a good, because they are getting a house to live in there. They get subsidized ration. They get free medical facilities, and so on. So, compared to other industrial workers, tea workers are different.
Right. Yeah, I've got this figure here that BTRI model tea gardens. You had an experimental farms at what is that? Bilaschara, yes, right. I see. And you produced up to 2,648 kg per hectare in 1998.
Right.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Right. Right.
While the Bangladesh national average was 1,149 kg per hectare. But I have a different question. What elements are conducive, helpful to production of good quality tea? I mean, is it the topography, the weather, the rain, the seed, the general technique?
Yeah, because we cannot change
technical know-how.
We cannot change the land.
Right.
What we have inherited, we have to grow tea there.
Right.
So tea land in Greater Sylhet, in Chittagong, and now we are cultivating tea in northern Bengal, Panchagor and Thakurgarh districts.
Yep.
So
is this development at Panchagor something new?
Panchagor, yeah, we started
something
new, yeah. About 10 years back we started.
That's good.
Mostly we started as small growers. We are encouraging small farmers, say 10 acres maximum. So they are doing good. They are doing very good. But as far as the quality is concerned.
Okay, sir, we will have to take our steps back from Panchagor and come back to London because we need a break.
No, okay, thank you.
Thank you for being with us. We hope that you are enjoying the show about tea, and at the end we will invite you to a cup of tea, inshallah. Don't go away, we'll be back soon.